Yahweh.
There is no
Before I
other.
start this prayer, Yahweh,
Oh, yes.
there's nothing, Yahweh, like the true
Hallelujah.
family, Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Nothing can be compared us to it, Yahweh. Just like the King we serve, Yahweh. Nothing can be compared unto you, Yahweh. I'm going to start this prayer now. How much, Yahweh? How much, Yahweh? Gracious, Yahweh. What did the Hashemayim? And there is your mighty Hashem. Your Baruch to come. Your will be done. In earth, Yahweh. And in the Hashemayim. Give us this day our daily lesson. And give us our debt, Yahweh. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, Yahweh. Yours is the Baruch, the power, and the honor, Yahweh. Forever, Yahweh. So be it, Yahweh. May it be fulfilled in the name of Yeshua. HaMashiach, who killed Malak, Yahweh. Just the lesson, the bread of life, Yahweh. To strength to go on and endure, to stay in the strength and narrow way, Yahweh. And if every spirit to try to come against us, Yahweh. And it's just the evil of nature in their right, Yahweh. In the best of my name, we are sure. HaMashiach, I pray. Hallelujah.
Let's be the Lamb of Israel. Hallelujah. For this is a beautiful young YHWH. Yahweh, He has brought us that we may bring, that we may use our voices to lift up His full destiny, that we may dance in His presence. As we shall come, remember all that He has done for us, YHWH. So let us rejoice.
say Shabbat Shalom to us all. The blessed assurance in the name of YHWH HaMashiach.
Hallelujah.
There is no blessing, no riches outside of HaMashiach. There is no strength and there is no knowledge of truth outside of the rich knowledge of YHWH HaMashiach. That's why it's vitally important we as a nation, we grasp what this book says. We cannot be nonchalant. No time for Yah. I'd rather he killed. I'm being honest. Most of the stuff I learned right along with you. Many times I don't even understand why I procured that each day. But as I teach, it is Imunah, because Imunah comes by Shalach. You must hear. You must perceive what Yah has said. And then we can have a comprehension that develops by hearing, because we've read that. We've seen that in the book. They teach in school, go over the basics all the time. They must. Because if they can get that foundation ingrained within the scope of your mind, there will be nothing too difficult to do. Nothing. You have the ability to process and analyze. You don't need to analyze what Yah says, because Haruach, that's that. We are that generation where the gods have arisen. They are powerful. They are strong. That's right, enough. They control every aspect of your living being. And the reason I say that, because we don't give attention to TORAH, but to the gods we do. We don't love them. They have not liberated you. Not at all. But you love them. And that's a fact. I want to be honest above all things in His truth. What has transpired since the time of Melech, Yehoshua, Shaul, Timothy. I want to lay down this pattern first because I did not finish the teaching on last Shabbat. And then we're going to begin to dab into the names of every god, nearly 60, in the book you call Biblos, Torah. Yet there is no indication of the one but one place who is the deliverer of a nation and people. How do you know? Because I'm a student. I'm not a pretender that know it. I labor, study, and make myself accountable unto Him. What I said makes no difference what one says about me. I mean, I don't care how you feel. Long as I know how He feels. And I know that by Him continuing to open up the simplicity of Torah unto me, make it a full understanding that I can comprehend, I can obey it, I can live by it, and don't try to deceive people or distract from Almighty Yah. I'm not fake, I'm not phony. That's a fact. You boasting? No. I'll give you my testimony. I'm not fake. And I'm not phony. I'm as real as I'm sitting here. I want to show us one of the most profound indications of our societal construct. I'm not talking about what's outside of the parameter, outside of the box.
Yes.
I'm talking about what I and you have developed.
Yes.
Out of the total context of the power of Almighty Yah.
Hallelujah.
And because of that, we have procured one thing unto us. You'll understand as I read. Now, I want to begin here in SHABBAT, in Judges. The writing of Judges chapter 2 and verse 6. He speaks unto one nation, he doesn't speak unto a multiple of nations. He speaks unto the ones that he has elected. They are his SHABBATs.
Yes.
And that's simply nothing but a twig. YHWH is the branch. We are a small twig on that branch. He speaks to us, and he speaks of the generation that would come. How that they had procured unto themselves the gods of every extreme. And he prophesied what would be.
Yes.
What would come. My mother wanted to be better for me than her. But it's worse for me. And it is her. They had a sense of care.
Yes.
And appreciation.
Yes.
And love. Even when they were phony, they still were real.
Yes.
Yes, my generation and beyond. Let me read it and see if I speak the truth.
Hallelujah.
It says in Judges chapter 2 verse 6, short 10. It says when Yeshua had let the people go, Yahushua said, you that are the sons of Levi and the Benjamites and the sons of Gad, there is a procurement granted by Yah unto you. So you go to your places, Reuben and Simeon. You go to your land, Dan. You go to the place that Yah commanded.
Yes.
But the centrality of all things is from the mother above. It is YHWH.
Yes.
This is where we will gather. We will celebrate our Abba.
Yes.
They began to move farther, farther, farther away from the centrality of truth. That's the way we are. It tells us that the children of YISRAYAH'ALE went every man to his inheritance and his possession of the land. So everyone had received an allotment of land. We see the same principle in the old ones. You buy a piece of land, allot it out to their sons, their daughters, and it's all lost now.
Right.
It's a fact.
Yes.
And so it was an inheritance for their life and their children's life.
Yes.
And the people served Yah all the days of Yahushua. They served him.
Yes.
There was one with the principles of Yah to carry out the mandate. That's why many like to be by themselves. They don't want true message of Yah to expense or dispense the commands of Yah. And
Yes.
so they began to formulate their own lives,
Yes. That's true.
their own religious concept. It's not of Yah. And they served Yah in the days of Yahushua. And all the days of the Zachaim, that outlived. They were staunch. They were studious. They were real. They were not pretenders. And they did not falsify one small iota of what Yah commanded. They did not lay aside Torah for the sons and the daughters, the relatives. They walked the straight line, the narrow line, the straight way. They walked because YHWH had made an impact. How? He was deliberate. He was sincere. He walked just like Moshe, and he learned from those, his predecessors. He learned the way to walk. When he would act out of order, men would straighten him out. That's why Eo had those that were much older than him, that were the patriarchs of his father. And they were not young men, so they had experienced things. And they had seen all the greats as what Yah had formed, fashioned among them. They had seen all the great works of Yah. And he did for Israel. He seen the hand of Yah. He saw the power of Yah demonstrated among them. They saw the evidence that were ingrained in their minds. And they allowed nothing to remove that. Son, daughter, daddy, they allowed no one to go astray from what Yah commanded. I'd rather die that way. That way. It tells us in verse 8, and Yahushua ben Nun, it says the servant of Yah, he was the one that's not it. He died. He didn't lay down his life prematurely, but he gave up Haruach. The Torah says that servant died. He was 110 years old when he died. You can see from that moment the span of life began to detract. He died at 110 years old. It tells me in verse 9, and they buried him in the borders of the inheritance of Timnath Eres. Please call Timnath Eres. And it signified that this one thing, that the S-U-N of Sadi and the S-U-N, it signified this, the place where the sun's rays, the light, will always permeate. That's why it's important to study. They laid him there where the lights resonates of what Yah commanded this nation to do. He was in the mount of Ephraim. It was on the north side of the hill of Gaash, precisely pinpointed because of the commands of Yah. You notice that description here, when he was married. That's why when one truly repents, there is a transformation from the sins and their corrupt ways. They will know the date and the time. You never forget that. I know. When they truly repent, you have this experience that which is not transformative. You forget it. When we lay down our lives for Him, we never forget. So the place of my sins buried, I will never forget. I know exactly what day it was, what time it was. I know that. I know the day of that death upon me. And the reason you don't know because you never experienced that. How about that? How about that? You just went along. I don't care who I offended. You. No one. Doesn't make any difference. It tells us this in verse 10. And also, all the generations were gathered to their fathers, and there arose another generation after them. After the death of those Zachaim, the elders, those with YHWH, there arose a generation like me that knew it all. It didn't take that much. You can do what you want to in your thing, and he will still be pleased with me. It's not that way. There arose another generation, it says, after them, come out, which your God knew not Yah. They didn't know him. They didn't know his ways. They did not take heed to the Zachaim and the Ima'im before they passed away. Who had nurtured them. A woman could never and can never and will never impart the strength of a man in a son. It takes a man. When you impart that, those disciplines, they will lay hold for the rest of their lives. She can never. She can only enhance and even make that stronger because she lives by the obedience of that one that she was faithful to and she loved. You don't find too many like that today. That's a fact. You don't find it. They knew not Yah, nor yet the works which he had done for YISRAYAH'ALE. When I was growing up, they taught us with very limited resources. The Jim Crows and the times and the eras. My grandmother and all of them. They taught us by their words, by the action, how that they could manipulate. When that oppressor did not even know, they were manipulating. And what's my grandmother taught? Oh, Mr. Jack Dagger. She would say, you usually get yourself out of here, Mr. Jack Dagger, I will. And he was cut Koran. He did not see how that she was manipulating him. He had manipulated her grandchildren, and all. She didn't see that. He says, a young boy. I could see that. I didn't understand that. I would watch. Just be quiet. Just watch. Be quiet. Verse 11, and the children of YISRAYAH'ALE, they did evil, like us. We do evil. We lie. We cheat. We're evil. Our expressions, we're false. We're fake. We're sadistic. Unrighteous. I don't care if you don't like me or you don't like what I'm saying. You understand my Ima? I learned when I'm sitting here. I'm glad because it judges every aspect of me. They did evil in the sight of Yahweh. How do they do evil? It says, and served Balaam. They served the god. The Phoenicians and the Canaanites that would rise up against them. Not my grandmother. She didn't serve, she didn't know. But the world gave her a lie in this superficial demon, Jesus Christ. And all she could do was tell us that. She didn't know. Jesus Christ is the Lord.
Yes.
And how short tongue is the father of lies. You can allow your little purity emotions affect you. He is still alive.
Yes.
Nothing but a filthy liar. And I say it that way with no repentance. Y'all will kill you, let him kill me. And the children of YISRAYAH'ALE did evil in the sight of Yah, and they served the Lamb, this supreme male divinity. I don't like using the word divine when it comes to Yah. The words I don't use.
Yes.
He was the supreme God. He was the image of strength, masculinity. They were gods of fertility. That's why the women were given unto that.
Yes.
Yah can bring a child out of nothing. You don't give birth to a child. Yah birthed the child. And so their conscience were not upon the testimony. That's why you hear me always going back to those days.
Yeah.
And I can remember the 60s. I can remember some decency.
Yes.
Today, it's nothing but a putrefied folly.
True.
There is no care. There's
True.
no love. Barely, hardly any among us that call on his name.
Yeah.
That's the truth. It says, and they azab, verse 12. You understand what azab is? And they deserted Yah. They had this kind of apostate ritual. They damned him and they cursed him. They apostatized. And they began to neglect the ordinance of Yah. The azab
Yes.
said, damn you. And they allowed their traditions of receptance. There are not that many people that's going to love me. That's just a fact of the matter.
Sure.
It is, Mama. You say, oh, I love you. Well, there are not that many. I say this with all honesty. I could teach in a way that people would listen. Draw. Just tell them lies. Seduce them. That's a fact. And seduce them under a bewitching lie. And a lie, it bewitches the mind.
Yeah.
It opens up the Pandora's box of darkness.
Yeah.
It does. It deceives you.
Yeah.
It draws you under a delusion of lies. You believe them. You buy into them. And then you will say to Yah, you begin to compromise. You will say, damn you. And that's just a fact. That's a fact. I don't care if you don't like it. Especially you. They forsook Yah, the sovereign master of their advance, which brought them out of the land of Israel. And they followed other gods. I want to read that in that form. God's not a dog of a God.
Yeah.
And they followed other gods. The gods of the people that were round about them. So we have performed the same duties of the heathens around us. And they go into their whole houses of darkness on Sunday. We didn't know any better. And that's what we did.
Yes.
We didn't have those at that time that were men like that.
Yes.
Just like YISRAYAH'ALE could not hear the voice of the one crying in the wilderness.
Yes. I do that.
There were men of that measure of knowledge. He was shackled by a system that did not allow them to speak. Y'all understand it was only in the 70s, damn near late 70s, before they allowed black preachers to go on their white stations. They didn't allow it. They did not allow them. You did not see them on what we call the stations that were highly regarded. They did not allow them on television unless they were just singing for some white preacher. That's just fact. Those men like the James Clevelands and men of that, they are the ones that pioneered. Even Fred Price. That's a fact. I wasn't born yesterday. When I was on the radio station, it was owned by Bishop Willis of the Church of God in Christ. He owned 13 FM stations and about 12. He never used anyone's finance but the people that listened to him. And he will pay them better interest than the bank would on their money. I've never heard no one say that Bishop Willis shortchanged some amount of money. He paid for nearly 25 radio stations. Don't tell me that the people of mine, you can't do it. We're selfish. We're wicked. We don't give a damn. We don't care about no one. That's Bishop Willis. He paid for all of that. I don't know what happened to Willis Broadcast now. And that's just a fact. The station we have here is a low powered, but it's legit. And there are very few men of my youth that even know about applying for license. And I did. Because I knew that in the state we were in Charlotte, that will cover the whole west side and beyond. I knew it. I knew it. I knew that for a fact. And so those Jesus preachers are still broadcasting on stations whereby they could hide or hide a station. But they're too selfish and too greedy. Let me get back to the God things. They're gods unto themselves. They have raised themselves in the likeness of their God. Hashatan, a deceiver, a liar, a corrupt one. That's right. They serve the gods round about them, and it says, and they bowed. I will use the word they worship. Not Shachan. But they bowed themselves to them. And then they provoked Yah, Ka'as. It's an indignation of anger that only Yah can express. That only Yah can administer. And that's what we have done. We have provoked. We haven't taught our sons and daughters the pure disciplines of Yah because it doesn't mean a damn thing to us. You raise them up from the bottom of your womb. You teach them. I'll show your mother that did that. Raise strong sons. Mighty. The Torah says even the stars of the heavens don't shine like that. And above mothers, she was a mother beyond a mother. She didn't tolerate their bourgeois state. She brought them up in the admonition of the one who taught her. Because he loved her. They provoked Yah to Ka'az. He became indignant. He poured out his indignation in the fit of rage. There's nothing like the fit of a rage. Nothing is held back when one rages. When Hurricane Hugo came to Charlotte, nothing held it back. The monies, the big buildings, their beautiful mansions, nothing. The rage of the sea when Yah dispels his wrath. It is not just upon the wicked, it is upon the just who have justified themselves, and the unjust as well. That's why we're not getting by. In all of our pretense, question I propose, but what we do for Yah and how we do it for each other. If you were on a job, if you did it that way, would you get a promotion? Like hell, you will not. Even in the natural sense.
True.
And you think you're going to get a promotion from Yah? You're silly as got dumplings. I wouldn't even eat that. He says in verse 13, and they azab. They turned their hearts, their minds. They forsook. It says God there if you have KJV translation. But they forsook. Does it say God? They forsook the Lord. But yeah, it pronounces who they forsook him for. They forsook Yah, and they served Baal, and they served Ashtaroth,
Yes.
the star. The star. The star god. God of the Canaanites. They love that God.
Yes.
And by the way, Ashtaroth was not a male divinity. It was not a man, or the symbol or the essence of a man.
Yeah.
But she was a goddess.
Yes.
She was a goddess. And they forsook Yah for Ashtaroth. And she was the one that you could get your fertility. Make sure that you can have babies. You offer up the offerings of hell to that violent, evil thing.
Yes.
And we do that in our own practice. And my wife and I did it. We saw her
Yes.
to make her fertile,
Yes.
bring forth a child. In all of our ignorance,
Yes.
I've always, forgive me now, when I hear the truth, I don't get upset.
Yeah.
I prove the truth.
Hallelujah.
Not from 1 or 2 verses. You will never say this preacher preached from 4 or 5 kids because he has it. It's multiple. Conversation consists of multiple words, platforms. They forsook Yah, and they traded Yah for this goddess. She is still alive today in the sense that you have forsaken Yah
Yes.
for this Jezebel. Yet they called him Lord. But what a proper noun to pronounce this filthy whore from the gates of darkness. Call her by name. Call her by name.
Yes.
Yet there is no indication of who this one they forsook. We don't even think logically.
True.
True.
They don't indicate who the Lord is. But yet they forsook that one that is him as a God and a Lord, but yet they had great respect to Ashtaroth. We are so immature. It is the truth, amen.
Yes.
And we don't logically think like that. And we and those, I never fought against this name.
Yeah.
From the day that I heard the name over 40-some years ago, I believed it.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to research it. I was ignorant like anyone else. But I never allowed that name. Because when I heard it from that man, I trusted him. I had a great fervor of love for him. I trusted his words.
Yes.
Although he did me in the end unrighteously, I never did that to him. I did not recompense him. Nobody have I ever done that to.
Yeah.
So here is this goddess. She's a star. That's what she represents. The star. Mothers have always daughters. And they become the star of their lives.
Yes.
Sons the same way. You don't have to love me. But it is a fact. I've seen it. I've been around too long. It's a fact.
Yes.
It is the truth, amen. I want to show you the most powerful God there is at this time.
Right.
He affects the mind, your disposition, your worth. He will make you kill. You notice I'm using the noun he.
Yes.
He. But I'll correct that, okay? Because that's how you have thought of him.
Yes.
As a he. I remember as a young man, ignorant, still out, reading and not with the avenues of research I have, none. And there are things that I said I never would do, and I haven't.
Yeah.
And that's just a fact. I laid it down.
Yes.
I never will.
Yeah.
I never have. To honor her, never have. Dishonored in any way.
Yeah.
No way. To love her, be kind. No, I'm going to talk like that.
Yeah.
You can do your issue the same way.
Yeah.
I've known nobody but her. I love her. She is the one special to me.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that you're not special. You're not special.
Yeah.
She's special
Yes.
to me. And there are things that I have never gone back.
Yeah.
Have not even considered. Let me express this God to you and mesmerize you, and mothers go crazy, stupid. Be associated with this God. And by the way, it is a goddess. She is. She makes wealthy and rich. She presents the stars, S-T-A-R. There's another place in Hollywood they call, they put out stars for their Hollywood. Oh, you all know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Muhammad Ali said, you're not putting my name down there. Folks to walk on. Put it on the wall. You're not walking on Muhammad Ali because they're dogs.
Yes.
And they put their name down on all this gold, brass, plaque. People walk on it, they spit on it,
Yes.
because that's what they are. They're not even worth spit on. Muhammad, I remember that in the days when they put it on. You say, you're not putting my name down there. You're going to put my name up on the wall. Nobody's walking on my name. Same man that they gave hell. Because he said the Vietnamese have done nothing to me. I'm not going to kill them. Took away that man's livelihoods, robbed him, and destroyed that man. And now the platitude trying now. robbed him of his wealth. That's what a God does. Let me show you the most powerful God. She will make you kill for her. This is what I wrote down. She is the God of Greek mythology. She represents the goddess of great speed and tenacity. She's full of this tenaciousness. She represents strength and victory. This is the most powerful God. She is also known as the winged goddess. She has wings of strength. Nobody can overcome her. She moves away from every kind of circumstance that distracts her. She is the daughter now, this goddess, of the Titan Pallas. And she is also the daughter of the goddess called State, a deity of the river, the form of the boundaries of the earth. This is the goddess of the underworld. So Pallas and these two produce this god. Also her siblings, they're close in comparison to Zeus. She symbolized the virtue of strength, athleticism, virtue. She represents victory. She is always the one that even today, she flies around the battlefields because she represents victory. Can I tell you her name? She's the goddess Nike. She make young men kill one for a pair of those sneakers. She have a lord to the gods, the Michael Jordans, the LeBron James, and all of them. Don't tell me that a mother will go crazy trying to get a pair of Air Jordan for her son. Yes. Young daughters go belligerent because they don't wear Jordans. Daddies will go beyond the boundaries of their finance for a pair of Jordan shoes. And Jordan doesn't give a damn about you. Your poverty. He wants $350 for a damn pair of shoes made in China, Vietnam, Cambodia, where they pay the people pennies. Yes. I haven't worn a pair of Jordans. I've never worn a pair. That's just a fact of the matter. I've grown mad, styling what they call Jordan. Man, I love my Jordan. Damn Jordan. Yeah. The most powerful God. Phil Knight, his name is spelled K-N-I-G-H-T. He knew the power of this God. Yes. Because they had romance and companionship. Tell me a sneaker pump that sells like Nike. They buy them in Japan. They buy them in China. They buy them down into the poverty-stricken nations in Haiti, and everywhere. They know Nike. They know this slut of a whore. Yes. And they will steal. They will rob and do anything for a damn pair of Nikes. They will see you with a pair, and 4 or 5 will gang bang you for the shoes. That's just the truth. Yes. You don't have to buy it, but it's the damn truth. Yes. She is the most powerful God upon the face of the earth. There are countries that know her, they don't even know your Jesus Christ. There are countries where they are entrapped in poverty. No pair of Nike shoes will sell as much as it would cost what? Feed the family for a week or a month. And they will do whatever it takes to get a pen. That's why my students, you can be a professor. I will always be a student. Oh, she is a star god. She is a star. You don't see that today. First thing they look for what kind of shoes they got on. You can have on Puma, not like Nike. Mr. Phil Knight caused a mother to go delirious trying to get a pair of sneakers and working 2 or 3 jobs. $600 pair of shoes. But they don't wear them. They're those that just collect them and look at them like gods, because they are gods. They're just an ignorant people. Yeah. I've never been torn on any style because the way I dress the way I dress. Yeah. That's how I've been all my life. I didn't go looking for no Pierre Cardin. I didn't like the damn tracks because I knew they were fakes. You didn't see me wearing something and I prize that. Never. Fact of the matter. That's a fact. This is the most dynamic God upon the face of the earth now. In poor countries, they know this God. They don't know a damn thing about Jesus. And that's just a fact. Young boys go delirious for a pair. And the young daughters too. I want some Nikes. I'm going to teach today. Yeah. My sister's son, I took him to buy a pair of shoes. I took him to the mall of Freedom Drive before the government took that over. And he says to me, those Nike tennis shoes were twice as much as the other ones. And in these words I said, I tell you what, son, you can tell me what and how these will enhance you. If you can just give me the scope of the aerodynamics of these shoes, how they will enhance your performance and all of that, I said, I promise you. You didn't even have the money. I bought these for you. All I need is that. How it's going to enhance your walk, what it creates for you. And tell me the material, what is so superb about this material? Look just like those. Now forget out the day when I can't tell you that. I said, well, we'll get these then. I can afford these. She is the God. Yes. The God is that reap women and men. Yes. Oh, silly old men. Got my Air Jordans. I would not give Michael Jordan or Air Jordan a dime because I know back then I was voting when he said that about Harvey Gantt with this dog that produced such an incriminating video on Harvey Gantt. Before white compatriot, all it was a black hand balling up a piece of paper. You lost the job because of the black man. And that bastard said, those that buy my shoes are Republicans and all. I would not have bought them before that. But that solidified it. This dirty bastard. That's the goddess. I want to show us something. How about that? She's been around for a long time. She is the God of the stars. You understand? And every Nike got some wings on them. Represented by 2 wings. High top, one on each side. One on the toe, their wings. We have no conscience that is cognizant of what we do.
True.
The reason why we don't love this book. We love trash and foolishness. We don't love this book. We don't love truth. And that's an incrimination on us all. We hear the truth, we transform ourselves. Don't do it again. Can I move beyond this? Because I mentioned to us the 7 stars on last week. I did not do a comprehensive teaching on that. I'm bringing that back because I'm dealing with the slut of all sluts. Her name is Nike. She's represented by the Baron of Lords, Michael Jordan, God LeBron James, all of the gods of some sporting activity. The Kevin Durants, those that are athletic. She is a goddess of athletic pursuit. She is the excellent goddess that this world drools over, whether they are rich or whether they are poor. That's a fact.
Yes.
They wear Jordan with suits on, dresses on. There's no way when I wore suits that I'm wearing some tennis shoes. I want my shoes polished, so dressing on them. I grew up that way. In the 60s, that's how the old men dressed. Shoes had to be so dressing on the shoes. You didn't see scuffed up shoes. So I learned from them by looking. Couldn't afford it. But I learned from the old timers and the ones, and many of them were not much older than me now. 70 years is not much older than me now. 72, 73, it really isn't. We played ball together. When I began to mature. Let me go on. I want us to look at Hanok. Hanok chapter 21 verse 2. Nike is what we call a global God. She's not just the God of some kind of industry. She transforms the minds and the desire of children and adults as well. Mama will boast and buy a pair of stupid tennis shoes made in the factories of China. They do that. And that's a fact. Hanuk chapter 21. I want to bring this into great scope here. I read this last week. I read from Amos concerning this, but I want to bring this into a tremendous scope. Hanuk 21, and also verse 2. Concerning that region of Hanuk song, this great catastrophic. Their gods are coming down, nation, and your God too. Your God that is selfish and greedy, no regard for anyone, it doesn't give a damn about no one, has no regard for no one. Your dirty damn God is coming down. Look what it says in Hanuk 21:2. He said, observe the very cataclysmic nation. And I saw there where I was. There was not a Shemayim. There was no heaven. Can you think? I can even think of something of the abyss, of the abyss, where there is no ceiling. You can look up and see ceiling here. Where there is nothing beyond the scope of visual. He says there was neither above nor earth beneath. There was no heaven above. I saw nothing. I saw no place to rest my feet upon. He said, but I saw this. I saw chaotic, troubling, chaotic and terrible place.
Yes.
What is that? What is the visual and the scope of this? What am I looking at? And then above all that he says, There I saw. I saw the number of resurrection. I saw 7. He did not see 8 or 6. He saw 7.
Yes.
It is a testimony. And if this testimony, Hanak was before Amos and those. But there had to be one to speak the same thing after the death of Hamashiach. There are things that Hanak boasted, and nobody saw this, but someone else saw this.
Yes.
Someone else saw the same thing. And I saw the 7 stars of heaven. I saw them ratach. I saw them bound. I saw them snapped and broken. How do you break a star? You may, as scientists, they may come a dark star, whereby the fuse burn itself out. You have made nothing to burn itself out. He said, I saw these 7 stars of the heaven. I saw them bound right together. He saw them like a great burning mountain. Gadol. It was Gadol. He emphasized that. It was in Cheh. It was a mountain. Tremendous. Beyond the scope of vision. His word is beyond our scope to understand. That's why after 3 generations, the children forsook Yah.
Yes.
We can't be pretenders, Achim. Zakinim, you can't be full of your bull of shittle. You got to be real.
Yes.
Can't clown and joke.
Yeah.
You must be real. I'd rather die my way this way, Yah's way, than I can real.
Yeah.
It was only those after YHWH that reminded them and kept them in the restraints of Torah until they began to rise in the Nike tennis shoes, the Nike wear, the Nike gear. They rose up above the mandate of Yah. That's what this generation has done. They rise up on the strength of their gods. They cannot be informed. They know everything. No one can inform nor instruct them. They're brilliant from the jump. That's stupid. I say this to us often. I've learned most of the things in life by being quiet, shutting my mouth, and just watching. I will go out and watch brick mason just lay bricks. I will sit there half an hour, and that's no lie. I will watch them with this stroke. I will just watch them. I will watch carpenters build. And I will watch how they would do things. That's how I learned. Nobody taught me how to build a deck or anything. My first one I built precisely, without anyone's help, with a tree in it and all of that. No one taught me, but I looked. Those strangers taught. I observed and I watched. And I would sit there. I would see how he would move that trial. Oh, I got the concept and Father. And I can't deny Mr. What was his name? Preston. Mr. Preston was a wonderful man to me. He was. And they threw the big party after that. I didn't go. I said, Mr. Preston, I really like you, but I don't feel comfortable here. He said, all right, we'll give you your certificate. And you all eat. I didn't want to be a part of that. And I did not participate. Listen to this. I saw this like a great mountain, and it was burning with the edge, the fire, trepidation of Yah. It was burning with fire, unquenchable, beyond atomic or nuclear fire. It was beyond that.
Yes.
And nuclear fires never burn out. They don't burn out. That's why in Russia they covered it with tons and millions of tons of concrete. It never. That's why the fire of Yah in us, it never burns.
Yeah.
It never burns out. It burns the sin in the dross. We bring enough each day in our lives that that fire must continuously burn. He said it was like a great mountain burning with fire. This is the hand of Yahweh. I can see where in Revelation it talks about the 7 Melachim. And they bring the last judgments upon the world. Like I brought out to us on last week the G7. I want to remind us of that again, what it stands for. It's beyond the global. When you research the word global, you will understand that it also talks about the cosmic, the air. That's what global is. Are not these nations the rule of everything? They can pollute your air, your poor countries. There's nothing you can't say. They can take the resources of your reserve and burn the gases and these death-defying chemicals. And there's not one damn thing you can say in Africa. That's why when I would see the pirates get on their vessels, the huge ships, they rob those countries, their resources. They dump the chemicals there, but they could not live. I've never felt sorry for one of the ships that they've got on. And hold them hostage for $25 million or $50 million. What they had was worth more than $25 million. And they always paid up. I remember seeing a young man, he was about 17 years old. He said, I'm going to die anyway. I'm going to die of starvation. My life is not going to be lived out. The poverty here. So I'd rather die trying to eat than to die sitting on my backside. This G7, these global nations, they control the heavens. Show me one spaceship that one nation in Africa on that continent has sent up into space. Show me one. Show me one that Haiti, Jamaica, the islands of the sea, show me one. Show me one place they collab with the dumb countries of the world that set up one ship. Show me one. Show me one. It's nothing but these Aryan self-grandizing demons. Yes. And they will not allow Russia to join. They're not. I don't care what Mr. Putin say. He can beg on his knees. That's why they call it the G7. These are the stars of the world. They control the finance, commerce, and every nation. No, China doesn't control a damn thing. You think nearly 1.4 billion people, that people in China are living nice? Crazy. The poverty in China and Japan. You think that you really, China got cities that there's no one there because there is no, you can Google it and see. No one lives in the cities. You can't build a city without commerce and material. That's given us a little city called Tshuwah community. Our resources. Just love, caring, kindness, friendship. That's our resource. Hallelujah. I want to show you the same vision. Hanuch, he didn't boast, but he boasts. But I've seen things in going places no other man has seen it. But this man did. He's known as Yochanan here in Revelation chapter 8, verse 8. Revelation chapter 8, verse 8. Hold your finger where it talks about that mountain and the burning fire. This is great. I want to see if the words are precisely, exactly, and the vision is the same. It says in Revelation chapter 8, verse 8, and the second melach sounded as it were a great mountain. You tell me one sounds, one makes a shofar, they draw their voice through the judgment out of Yah. It was like a great mountain burning with fire cast into the sea, and the sea became blood. This is the judgment of Yah. The words are exact. The words are precise. Yes. It is the same Ruach that revealed. There must be a witness bears. And he gives us witness.
Hallelujah.
The 7 from Adam.
Yes.
And he is one that walked with Yeshua.
Hallelujah.
The words are precisely.
Yes.
A mountain burning with fire. He called it a great mountain. Yochanan calls it a great mountain burning with fire. Are the words precise? Are the words exactly?
Yes.
The sentence is composed of the same words.
Yes. Yes.
And I say this to us all, nation. You'll never get these things or understand them unless there's a sincere expression to understand this book.
Yeah.
And from a young lad, young boy, I wanted to know. I would spend time in it. We don't give a damn about him.
Yes.
And my time is my time. And we spend no damn time with him. Oh, you can talk what you want. I love your daughters of Zion. I was sure some mother that spent time with their sons and taught them in the way of truth, that they could function that way. Because she knew the power of the strength of her rush. You go around, no use turning it off because you don't like my graphics of language. I'm over to Father Son.
Yeah.
All right, I will. This is what Yochanan saw, the 7 from Adam, the resurrection. The completion of the testimony, his testimony testifies. The Yochanan. We'll go back to what I brought out last week. I didn't bring it out right. Concerning what we call the G7. I'm going to read this one. The Global 7. The Global 7 is an informal grouping of 7 world advanced now. Much more advanced economics, which include Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, and the United States, and the European Union. I don't see Russia. I don't see China. I don't see those nations. I don't see Rhodesia. I don't see Egypt. I see these 7. So I would be on the pale in the sense because I'm ignorant. I'm not smart as you. You that can hear something, you know the details of it. You find someone that knows everything it talks. You find yourself a fool.
Yeah.
A fat fool. You can't take one little small thing and think you have the details of everything. That's silly.
Yeah.
So I began to research the words global in its format, synonyms, antonyms, what relates to global. It is ecumenical. Who has the sense of religious construct? It is Catholic. Tell me one whorehouse that is not in everywhere in the world, in the richest nations and the poorest, in the richest of every coast of Africa, into the poorest nation upon the face of the earth, that it dominates America and Europe with politics and all. You find their priests, their bishops, and all of them are nothing but dirty dog, rapists, and pedophiles and all. This is the Jesus Christ.
Yes.
This is the Jesus Christ prophets.
Yes.
It is planetary. You tell me these nations planetarily don't run the world. Sure it does. They go beyond this planet. They venture beyond the planets that you will never get there. And then one of the most intriguing, it is cosmic. Every God is cosmic. It is cosmic. It's beyond the heavens that you see. That's what global is. How do you own the air above you? Every nation in the world, if they're surrounded by water, we're surrounded by the Pacific and the Atlantic. There is a stretch of 250 miles from every border of every nation that nation, they own that. Anything that beyond the 250 is international territory. So you just can't go sail your billion-dollar yacht into the territorial waters of Russia. Same thing in this nation. This is a greedy, dirty bastard. They went beyond the boundaries like Japan to rape those poor countries in Africa of the allotment of the abundance of fish, what they ate every day, where they can stand on the shore and fish. It's like it was down here. On days I would go down and pure fish. I remember one day, Amy and I went there that morning. I got there. I caught probably 120 fish with them. They were biting. Then you began to see the ships, the trawlers, encroach in and encroach in. And now, I don't know what they're doing now, but it's hardly you can catch anything down there. We will go and bring back hundreds of fish. Not only is it cosmic, but it's earth. But this right here is what exudes this devil. It is total. There is nothing beyond the global center. India has more people than America, and all of these countries together, they're not included. Pakistan has more than all of these countries combined, but they're not included. Iran, Iraq has a population that will shatter most of these nations. They're not included. They're not a part of that. It is unbound. You understand, with something that is unbound, nothing can bind them. There is no territorial law that binds them. If they want to drop the bomb on your ass, they will, nation. They want to come into your country without any kind of agreement. They can get Mr. Hussein, Bin Laden. You made Mr. Laden.
Yes.
He killed you. He poisoned you. She is unbound. She is earthly. You can tell me all these descriptions don't even fit this whore, this God that pimps Michael Jordan, that pimps LeBron James, and pimp them all that even, they do something charitable. Go to a poor community, give out a pair few shoes.
Right.
This slut doesn't care.
True.
She's a dirty whore. And they drop a store near the poor community that the young men will actually kill each other. I'm not saying that that is a pandemic of death, but they will rob you for your diligence. Take them off. Give them up. Oh man, those Air Jordan shukabukas, take them off. I want them. You either take them off, you give them up.
Yes.
And that's just a fact.
True.
Well, that's only black boys. You just don't hear about the white boys. You tell me there are no poor white boys. Then I don't fear you all. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
This is the concept of what global is. These 7 nations rule everything. They're the stars among the little twinkle of lights. These are the nations that control the economy of the world. That's why they're known as the global. 7. Little country like Japan. Hell, I could get enough pretty boys if we go there and stomp her. Yet they all have one thing in common. They have the fire that will burn you. But it's not like that fire burning mountains. It's not like that. I got a fire that will burn you to pieces. I'll show you my fire.
Yeah.
I want to show us the representation of the stars of Yah. It's only 7. That was 7 what I read. 7 nations. I will show you one of the most profound demonstrations of the profound stars of Yah. Is found in 2nd Maccabees. Maccabees, 2nd Maccabees. Write that down, chapter 7 and verse 9. These are the stars that I will allow to light the light in my heart, because this is a pattern right here in Maccabees, 2nd chapter 7 verse 19. But think not you that take in hand to strive against Yah. You can't fight against him. Don't strive against truth, against your Almighty, that you shall escape the unpunishment of Yah. You're going to be punished. I don't care if it's your mother, your daddy. They're not going to escape. Your daughter, your grandchild, your wife, your husband.
Yes.
Don't even think that you're going to escape. This is what God gives us. This is what the imam, a mother, would say to her son. Her life reflects that. This is the imam of the 7 stars, that no one else shine like it. That's what an imam says. Her actions are function to her words. You see that? You've seen that. That's why I tell all of you wives, you love your husbands. Be kind and affectionate toward them.
Yeah.
You learn to love and you reverence them. Yira, you learn to honor them with great fear. And that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. You make the man first. And that's just a fact. And man, don't be a fool to abuse her and treat her like she's a piece of power of duk. You don't do that.
Yeah.
What does that say? This is a mother talking. Verse 20. But the mother was marvelous above all. That's a mother. She's above. She doesn't talk earthly. She talks from the volume of TORAH. She was above all.
Yes.
Above all, not some. Above all. And she was worthy of honorable memorial. Away. We honor some of the most violent people. Drunken daddy died, we honor him. Son get shot down in a dang battle. You don't just drop him in the grave. You want everybody to come by now. Man, I miss Shobokiruki. He was my boy. We don't give a damn. I don't give a damn if, you don't give a damn. And that's just a fact.
Yes.
You want to live like a whore. You show great esteem. Put all that money in something that is stupid. Send it to me. I'll use it faithfully. She was worthy of honorable memorial, for which she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of one day. Antiochus tormented her. I'm going to break you. She had a foundation by the beauty and the honor, strength of her husband. He was a strong man. Eliezer would not bow down. He was strong in Emunah.
Yes.
He walked in Emunah. He loved her from the day he married. He was honorable. He honored her. And she honored him beyond honor.
Yes.
She raised those boys by the law of his mouth. Doesn't take anything from mothers are out there struggling. You thought that he loved you. You gave yourself to him and he left you like a blind dog. He didn't give a damn. And babies all around you in the same community. The cities are filled with that. Well, let's go different than country girls are barefooted and walking in the dust and the sand. Yes. Babies are both draw legs. Yes. You can't classify as nothing but a whore. Don't give a damn what you say. Yes. You get mad at me, but that's what God calls it. That's what it is, a flat out whore. I never intended it to be that way. You see, animals do that, but not humankind. He said within the space of the day, she saw her sons tired. Can you imagine? Tormented. And they never relented or cried out. That's, we need those 7 stars in our hearts. Yeah. He said, and she bare it. She had that hazak courage. She had strength. Yeah. She had fortitude. She had maturity. She had life. Yeah. She had wisdom. She had that. She had a resolution. She was resolute. Because of the tikvah that she had in Yah. It made no difference what they did to her sons. Yeah. She had the promise, the tikvah, the pistis in Almighty Yah. Yeah. She knew she could wait on him. She knew on the promises. She knew on the ream of Almighty Yah. She had that in Yah. Yes, she exhorted every one of them in her own language. Son, Mom is here. I will not allow this unclean world to touch me, as I have not allowed it to touch you. Filled with courageous rachim. She was filled with the rachim. She had courage to stand. I like this part right here. And she stirred up. She's stirring up her womanish thought. She felt like a woman, but with a manly staunch. Her belly was full of the strength of Elisha that he taught her. Yes. You see, it's more than just talking, it's loving her. Yeah. It's more than just talking. It's teaching her the caressing, the love, the tenderness of love. Yeah. We'll put her in his big old arms and pull her face his chest. She could hear his heartbeats. Yeah. She could have confidence in that. Yeah. She could sense the beauty of that man. Something is wrong with you, man. Yeah. You don't do that. And you're a sick woman when you don't want him to do that. Yeah. Something is drastically wrong in you. You know, just put your head on my chest. Yeah. Lay here, nothing else. Yeah. My leg is in big, let me roll on now. Okay, that's it. Put it back there. I will. Yeah. You see, if you got any kind of form of thought on that because you won't do it, you're a coward. I don't care if you're 25, 55, or 105. Yeah. Why you got to say that? Because you haven't heard it this way. Yeah. That's why. Yeah. And it makes no damn difference. Put your head here. I want to hear. You feel my heart. Yeah. You feel how it pounds for you. Yeah. Yeah, I say these things. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. Yeah. I said to my email this morning, I just look and I said, you're so, what a shame it is. You're that beautiful girl. I love you. Yeah. Her response to me after a while was, look at that woolly white beard of yours. Look at that woolly white beard. It's woolly. I said, I like that. I want it to be woolly. I don't want to be straight. I want it to be woolly. Look like a woolly sheep's back. I like that. Yeah, I want it to be woolly. Yeah. I can put a straightened comb through, but I will not. Put some relax in it, but I will not. I like it. woolly, twilly woolly. It just ain't woolly enough. Beautiful woolly. It is. Hallelujah. She spoke with the strength of a man. With the stomach of a man, she was staunch. She was sure. As she said to them, I cannot tell you, come into my womb. I cannot tell you how you came into my womb. Was my husband wrong? No. There was a process. For I neither gave you breath nor life. Boy, I gave you life. You gave nothing, Mama.
Yeah.
I'm the man. You gave nothing, Daddy.
Yeah.
I didn't give you life, son. I didn't give you breath.
Yeah.
That's powerful to me.
Yes.
Proud of my son. Now, you didn't give your son life.
Yeah.
I gave you a process. But he put the life there, man.
Yes. Yeah.
This is the mother. Neither was it I formed the memories of every one of you. I didn't form you. Because I would have shaped your head a little different, I would have done that. I didn't form you. You hear me, y'all? Before you were formed in the belly of your Emma's womb, I knew you. What a beautiful strength of an Emma.
Yes.
She said, I didn't make you.
Yeah.
You were just incubated in me. But there was one that's greater. That's a semicolon right there. She said in verse 23, but doubtless the creator of the world. The creator of the world. The one that made, the one that BARAK, the one that put everything, the heavens up, the creator of the world, who formed the generation of man and found out the beginning of all things. Will he also, of his own compassion, give you breath and life again. It is the compassion of God. And we die, Yeshua. He put the life there first.
Right.
He has the compassion, even in death. He's going to put life in you again.
Hallelujah.
He's going to bring the breath back.
Yes.
Doctors can't do it. Medicine can't do it.
Hallelujah.
Only God can. You see, she moved out all the qualifiers. I didn't make you all. I didn't form you. He is the one that created to form you.
Hallelujah.
And look what she says here. Will also of his own compassion give you breath and life again. As you now regard, you respect, you love, you regard not your own sake, for the Torah's sake. You can regard your own self for the Torah's sake. You don't give a damn about me, and I don't give a damn about you. But that's not what the Torah says.
Right.
I give more about my son than you. He's a damn dopehead, a liar, a faggot, and a thief. He says, don't even care about yourself. You didn't even care. But you cared about the sake of the Torah. Testimony of Yah. He was alive and he was real. She's talking to Antiochus. Verse 24, and Antiochus, he represents everything that is evil in me and you. That is sadistically wrong. And Antiochus thinking himself, despised and suspected it to be a reproachable speech. He said, he's young though. He's young and dumb. While the youngest was yet alive, did not only exhort him by his words, but he assured him with an oath that he would make him both a rich and happy man. I'll make you rich. I'll make you happy. Forget what she said. Deny that. If you will turn from the Torah of your father. Turn from the law of the Torah of your father. That's what the enemy has done. It has caused us to turn from the Torah, to justify my wicked ways, to justify my wicked mother, my wicked daddy, my wicked son, my wicked daughter, my wicked cousin. We will justify them. We don't want fellowship with the Torah. We rather have fellowship with that which is wicked and unrighteous before Yah. I'm bringing it down to you. I don't care if you don't like it. All right? Makes me do good. That he will make him a rich and happy man if he would turn from the Torah of his fathers, and that also he would take him for his friend and trust him with his affairs. I'll make you my friend. I will give you rule over jurisdiction, just in order. You see, it had to be 07. It had to be a testimony. It had to be complete. It had to be a resurrection. That's the number, the 7. That they all knew. His mama said, don't worry, son. I know you're the baby. And he was the last one. I was somewhat a little tough on you. But that's all right. You're hard-headed. Your heart is in the place that has been shaped by your father, your Abba, who is long gone. And is been shaped in truth, according to the forefathers, in Torah. In Torah. So you stand and don't give up. There's one thing about the purity of an imam when she teach. She will not allow the things that are spotted in the world to affect her. She will not allow the son that is gone wayward and his ways and his attitude to affect her in righteous judgment. She would rather die. Well, some would say what I'm about to read, was she commit suicide? No, she trusted the hand of Yah before she allowed the filthy things to take her under. You trust Yah before you allow a filthy son, a filthy daughter, a filthy cousin, or your filthy, even your filthy self to make you compromise. I will not compromise. I lost the fellowship of my whole family for not compromising. All I was able. And I was home with them. Lost my oldest brother that I loved dearly. I love my brother. You know that? I loved him. Never talked nasty to him. I respected him, even though he would talk nasty to me. I didn't talk nasty to him. I was just like, shut your mouth. You can't instruct me in nothing. You listen to me. You want to talk to me, listen to me. And that was space of time that I never talked with her. You're not going to do that with me. I can look at your sons and see what they are. You think I will allow you to do that to me? No. Hell will open for me. Hell. I didn't do it wrong. I didn't call her the B word or anything like that. I hated when my mother did that to my sister. Don't call her that. Don't treat her like that. You raised her. She's not, what were you? You got 3 children by 3 different men. You got 6. You doubled her. So don't talk to her like that. A mother who gets so quiet, you be a rat, urinate on God. Piss on God. You don't do right, you do right by her. You haven't done right by her. Listen to this. That's why we need the power of the 7 ruachim of Almighty. That's what the 7 sons represent, the power. The mother represents the identity of the most highest motherly kindness. The father represents the staunchness and the power of the great creator, because he created them. He made them. He put them in the way, but Yah made them. He formed them. He created them, and it was the Father that shaped them into the image of the Most High. Look what it says in 4th Maccabean, chapter 17, the 4th chapter. 4th Maccabean, chapter 17. This is the schema of 7 sons of Eliezer. Represent the power of the Ruachim of Yah. Verse 1. Some of the guards said that when she also was about to be seized, they said, let's get this devil. When she taught, Let's get her and put to death. Look at this. She said, Yah, I trust you. I will not let their filthy hands corrupt me. That's why we don't touch the unclean things of the world. Touch not. When she knew that the hands were violently filthy, they also about to seize her, lay hold of her to put her to death. She said, you don't even have to do it. I don't want you to touch me. She threw herself into the flame so that what? No man might touch her body and try to fill her titties. She said, I trust Yah, even in the death, you will not. You think those bastards? They were raped her. Oh, they don't do that in prison houses today. Yes. The women rape women. The men rape men. Yes. Prison guard rape women and men. You tell me they don't do that? Yes. Sure they do. Yes. You were not born yesterday. Right. She said, Yah, I put it in your hand. And the fire was her deliverance. Yes. There are going to be many fiery trials that would try us. But that's our deliverance. Yeah. That's what brings us through. She threw herself into the fire of flames, that no one might touch her body. She had heard the stories. Yes. Of how these devils would rape, touch the bodies of women. These are nasty police officers. Today they will search a woman, and if she's shapely or whatever, and fill her titties and all of that. Many in prison for that. Yes. It says this in verse 2, Ima, O Ima, who with your 7 sons, you both who you nullified, you made empty, you made it of no substance void, the violence of the tyrants. What the tyrant wanted to do, it was nothing to you. You made void of his excitement, that he would take pleasure, that he has the power to do whatever he will with you. You made void. And the Torah said, you frustrated his evil design and show the courage of your emunah. We must show the courage of our emunah. You show the courage of your emunah. That's why we can't pretend, nature. We can't play. There's no time to fool around. You can play. You're going to die that way. I get it right. You're not going to get it right. This is a process. It was the courage of her emunah that she trusted Yah. That she had confidence in what was said, the evidence of her husband, her man, that she loved, that she honored, that he loved her. His caressing, his loving arms, his kisses upon her lips, and just squeezing her and hugging her and telling you, I love you. You're my beautiful prize of life. Nothing. Yes. Hallelujah. That's just the fact. Yes. You got to talk like that, Akeem. The daughters, I want them all to have husbands. The daughters are going to have husbands. Yes. Mothers, the daughters are going to have husbands one day. You teach them. You don't talk those shiesting to your husband. Raise your damn voice where they can hear. You will never do that with me. That ain't about to happen. Tell me what you gonna know. Because I'm not gonna do you like that. I'm gonna do what it's no obligation, my love that Yah put in my heart to do. Yeah, I'm gonna incorporate these things. And that's a fact. You'll be surprised. The daughter's going through hell with a stupid man. Yes. The woman with a whorish way. Let's get real. Stupid and dumb. She frustrated his evil design, showing the courage of her imuna, nobility. She had the nobleness set like a roof on the pillar of her son. You have firm and unanswering, unswearing against the earthquakes of torture. They did not move you.
Yeah.
He done you wrong, she done you wrong. You did not move away from the principles of life.
Yeah.
You sailed the ship, the battles. You did not go against God for wife or husband.
Yeah.
The husband run out. No, he runs it. But you stand in the way of Yah.
Yes.
Took care of her sons. I said, this all you daughters, her house was clean. It didn't smell shitty. It wasn't nasty. Her house was clean. Everything. Her husband came home. He could sit down and juice a pot of lamb's ribs. Some of the abundance of greenery that she would pick at that time. Didn't need no fertilizer. Everything was right to eat.
Yes.
He said, all you daughters, keep your house clean. Clean as your house, that's how your body is.
Yes.
If your house stinks, you stink too.
True.
It's superficial. And men, the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm never one day not like keeping myself clean and the house clean. I'm talking to all of you, especially you. I always kept my house clean.
Yes.
And the thing of it is, I worked, but I would still come home and clean. I didn't know anything about the SHABBAT back then, but every Saturday, we cleaned the whole gig out. I'd take the bathrooms first, because she could not clean them like me. I didn't need no mop to mop the floor like she did. I got on my hands and knees, and I mopped the floor, and make sure they were clean. Yeah, I did that. So I took all the hard jobs. I gave her the family room and or whatever other living room. I cleaned the bathrooms first. And all of it was never dirty. Or I'll tell you, our home has never been that way. But I gave her the small things. I'll start here, work this. Always the bedroom for her. And I work everything else. And we'll meet in the center and we'll do this together.
Yeah.
I didn't work like you, Achim, but I worked like you, Achim, at one time. I had a job, I had a second job, and a job I went to school to. I was going to college. But I never put the burden just on her. It was both of us.
Yes.
I like clean things.
Yeah.
I like my house being clean.
Yes.
She kept her house that way. The sons enjoyed her fruitfulness.
Yeah.
She did not give up. She did not sway in the torture. It says in verse 4, the courage, therefore, O Kodesh, my mother, maintaining firm and enduring tikvah in Yah. That's what you have to do.
Hallelujah.
I don't care who forsake you, who go against you. You have to remain firm. You can't be shaken.
Yes.
You must be unmovable, always abounding. She did not allow the death to shake her. She did not allow the very torment of Epaphroditus to remove her from the love of Yah. She did not. And for the great care that her husband had provided.
Yeah.
And that's a great, wonderful blessing. So it's all. It's a blessing to the daughters of Zion. It's a blessing to the man that he can provide.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a house 2 times this big. Hell, you can't keep the one that's smallest man clean. Come on, daughter.
Yeah.
Strip of the Lord. It's easy cleaning that. I came home one day, I'll testify my little space. I keep my stuff, it's orderly, but everything was out of order. There's a pile of clothes there, I know what's there. There's a pile there, I know what's there. So I come in one day and him. Yeah, you, don't turn your head, you. Next time, him and her. I go down to my office, and it was like a Spartan, a small. I said, well, I told you, let me do this. And we threw all the clothes. I said, whoa, get that bag back in here. The things I'm going to throw away, but that things I'm going to keep, get it back. I said to him, don't get that bag. Knock you out. It's clean. It's been kept that way ever since. Yeah. It is. Now, I still got a pile here in baskets. The basket here, I know what I'm going to put, but I got a pile in the floor too. I'm going to throw that away. You understand? Yes. You get our ruach clean. It's not hard keeping it clean. Yeah. But you got to get it clean. You can't be self-dignified like that's for them. No, it's for you, man. Yeah. Your life hasn't been Spartan no more Spartan than my life has been. And that's a fact. Look what it says in verse 5. It says, the moon of mine. That's all the children of the night. She says, Papi, the moon, the moon. There's not a night we walk together if I see her. They're looking for the moon. The moon, Papi, look. Every Tuesday she's looking, both of them. They tell me the moon, night. Yeah. But Yah says there's nothing like the full moon, bright and beautiful, clear. He says the moon and the heavens and the stars that glitter and shine so dynamically does not stand so august as you. You know what august is? It is that which is beyond beauty and pristine and so appealing to the visual. She said the moon and the stars, even that august body that is pristine in every one of their functions and obedience to the command, they stand in awe of you, a mother. Listen, daughters, I'm incorporated everything. There is nothing like a mother, whether she's a stepmother, a grandmammy, or great-grandmammy. It's nothing like a mother. Yeah. You see, that mother loved those sons, and her love and her care was by the pattern and the design of Yah. There is nothing more august. You can speak to her sons in inappropriate language and say things to them or call them names. You call them. And I tell you, I work with these little young brothers. That's why I tell them, you're not going to answer me that way, sir. Because I'll answer you, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you kindly, sir. I don't care how many times I say it. I don't get tired of saying that. Yes. Thank you so kindly, sir. I appreciate that, sir. You're not going to answer me that way. Look at who you are. Yeah. Yes, sir. You're going to answer me that way. Well, you think you're the Lord? I am the Lord. Right. I am. Yes. So I answer them just like I would do their fathers. Yes. Thank you kindly, sir. I appreciate that. Just like I do the daughters. Daughters of Zion. Young. And so they're going to answer me that way as well. They're going to tell me, yeah, no. You answer your homeboy that way. I'm not your homeboy. Yeah. That's a fact. And that's the way the sons of YISRAYAH'ALE shall perform, and the daughters of Zion as well. Yeah. They answer each other that way. Thank you. Do that, daughter. Thank you, my friend. Do that. I appreciate that. And that's the way I'll talk to them, because I do appreciate what they do. Lazy, but I still appreciate it. I have to draw them to attention, but I do appreciate it. Hallelujah. 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 He says, the moon in the heavens, the stars does not stand so august as you, who after lighting the way of your starlight. Does it say that? The sons were starlight. Yes. They were gods. Antiochus knew they were gods. They were powerful, more powerful than him. He had the authority. authority and the rulership. He said they were star-like. Yes. They were star-like. They were like the stars of the heavens. Hallelujah. They were greater than the gods that rules in the heavens. That's what the Torah calls them. Your sons, they were star-like. Your mama wanted their sons to be stars in basketball. Daddy wanted them to be stars in football. She raised them to be the stars. So august that nothing, no football, no Nike, twisted wicked God, no LeBron James, no Michael Jordan, the drunken looking thing look like he stays drunk. Yes. Michael Jordan doesn't smoke $2 cigars. His cheapest cigar, I guarantee you, costs him minimum $100 to $300. He smokes cigars at $1,000. He got humidors in his home. There are all kinds of, and they're from the little poor country down in Cuba. They make a cigar and they get $5 for it. And then the middleman would sell it for $60. And then they sell it to him for $1,000. What wickedness of this nation. Yes. Look what he says. Your star-like 7 sons. Kodash, like the 7 burning mountains, where judgment shall proceed, there must be that which is more profound and much more powerful than that. You fathers that have sons, raise them in the fear and admonition of God. There is nothing like that. You raise them to be a damn ball player. In your ignorance, we all have done that. You raise them to love God. You teach them mannerism and proper protocol. Yes. I say to the young ones all the time, his challenge in life and his is different than a white boy's. Yes. So I teach them protocol and the way to present yourself. Right. Oh, that's stupid. Oh, no, you're stupid. I teach them how to position themselves. Well, get that hump out of your shoulder. Stand with your back straight up. They couldn't go in the military and stand like that. Yeah. We think that's nonchalant, but it's not. Yes. It's vitally important. Miss Mickle taught the young girls how to walk, how to sit. You don't sit sloppy and slouching. We didn't sit like that in school. We sat erect. Yes. Yes. We learned those things from those that looked just like me. Hallelujah. They were just like me, lived in the hoods with me. That's a fact. And many of the teachers walked to school too. They didn't have cars. The stars. He says, you are like stars, 7 sons of piety that are so called as stand in honor before Yah and firmly set in the heavens within. And then he says this, for your children, these are the true descendants of Abraham. Not these devils on every corner. He said, for your children were true descendants. He didn't say anything about YISRAYAH'ALE. He said, for your children were true descendants of Father Abraham. Hallelujah. Abraham trusts Yah by emunah that he laid down that one. Offer for him. Yes. The Father laid down his 7 sons and offered them up unto Yah as complete. These are the true sons of Abraham. You are the descendants of Abraham. You came out of the bosom of Abraham. I'm from Abraham because I was born in America and I knew black like this bull. Hallelujah. I see why people don't listen to me. Yeah. I see why they don't like me. Because this man, when he speaks, he tries you. He tries your heart. Yeah. And the words will search out everything that is against Yah. Yeah. Hallelujah. I don't care how right you think you are. You know how I know that, Miss Ma'am? Because it finds everything here in it. Yeah. If I was a hypocrite in talking, you would. You can't do that. You cannot. You can't do it. She cannot. That doesn't make me great. It's just that I believe what God says, love her. She can't do it. You're in there playing video games all day. No, boy. I work when I can't work. That's a fact. See how that thing looked up there, son, how we set that table up? Look how he smiled. I went out there 6 to see where the sun was shining, how it shines, and what kind of overcast. I went there about 9, I go out there about 1, I go out there in the evening, and I go out there when it get ready to get down. So I know how to plant the plants. Yeah, you gonna help me too.
Yeah.
Not just one time. I know when the sun is going to be this height. Summer begins tomorrow. It will be in a different place as it moves. See, that's the next step forward. You have to observe these kinds of things.
Yes.
Making yourself great now. If I was great, believe me, I wouldn't be here. And that's just a fact. Hallelujah. We're going to love God. These sons were Kodesh. Let me read verse 7 again. 4th Maccabean 17:7. It was possible for us to paint an illustration, to paint the history of your piety, of your beauty, your Kodesh nature. If an artist was to paint a Rembrandt, if it was possible, as an artist might, would not those who first beheld it have shuddered? They would have trembled and quaked in their foot as they saw the mother of the 7 children enduring their various tortures to the death for the sake of faith. If anyone could see that, and the beauty of that image. That's why I say to all imams, you must strengthen that which remains. You must. If any artist could paint that, they would shudder. They would quake because they would not know what colors to put, how to paint it. It's not bizarre, but it's beyond human descriptive. You can't describe it with the human mind. You need that mind. YHWH describe this. There were 7 sons and they represent one of the most profound things. Can I read it? If I read, would you believe me? If there are 7 of them, will you believe me even more? It's the same 7 designs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know that they're all equal, but I like that design. I like that. Read this and I'll tell you what we do from. There is only one kingdom power nation. There is only one kingdom result. And there is one by the name of Isaiah, Yeshaya. He speaks of the rule of Yah and how our kingdom must be ruled. Listen. He tells us that there shall come forth a rod, a chotir, just a branch, a twig. Yeshua meant nothing when he came forth, the life of the populace of Galilee or any place. He meant nothing. His mother, by the direction of God, hid him. In YISRAYAH'ALE, he was just an everyday citizen. Yes. As far as they were concerned. He said, it shall come out of the stem of Yeshua. Whatever the sound of that name, even in the close proximity, boy. He said, and a netzah, just a smaller shoot. Oh, give me a little cutting of that. Oh, honey, I don't need much. I used to watch my mother-in-law. They didn't need a large cutting of nothing. They didn't have all the fancy stuff we have to need to root that thing to get it. Why are you shaking your head that way? She knows it's the truth. I've seen it. Oh, baby, Miss B, you want take a piece of this. You want to have some begonia, you want some of this and that, and just cut a little piece off of it. That's all they would do. Mama didn't let that come home in waste. She would get it rooted. And then over the years, someone else could get a cutting or some cuttings. That's how they did it. That's the truth. I recall that because I would visually see it, and I would work the yards with my mother. I would do those things. Pick up that, put it over there, boy. Yes, ma'am. That old grass is tough over there. You got to get it out of there. You didn't have no tools like we have today. That old mallet, it wasn't sharp or anything, but I got it on because I wanted to make her happy. And shall grow out of his TORAH. There shall be a root. A root. A parah is that which bear peri. It bears fruit. There shall be roots. He must be grounded and rooted. That's what we must be grounded and rooted in the house here. And a root. There shall be a root that shall bear all kinds, from that root, all kinds of little twigs or little shoots that come out of that one root. You have a main stem, but there are hundreds of shoots that come out of that. They will come out of that. Then it says, you will know what they shall be. The 7 perfections of Yah. He says the Ruach of Yah. Ruach HaChodesh, the life and the witness of HaMashiach. He named that one, didn't he? See, that's the first one, the little one. Yes. They're all equal. He said the Ruach HaKodesh shall rest, shall have a place in his mind, shall rest, dwell, stay upon, shall rest upon him. Yes. Shall rest upon him. That's not like him. Shall rest upon him. And then it tells us the Ruach of wisdom, Chokhmah. We must have this incorporated, flow from our bellies. Not acting silly and stupid. Yes, God. There's no time to laugh, brothers and sisters. Yeah. It's time to be sober. That's a fact. Yes. He says, and the Ruach of Da'at, of understanding, you can discern, you can cipher from this and that. Not only that, but the Ruach of Musa, of counsel. Yes. Such damnable hard-headed people. Ain't nobody tell us nothing. Our children are that way. They don't want to hear. Yes. Let's get real. He said the Ruach of Musa and the Ruach of Chazak, of great might and strength. We must have that nation. Yes. Doesn't mean you're strong because you can lift 50 pounds of might. And then we must all have this, the Ruach of knowledge. Say it, pray. We must have wisdom and understanding of Torah. I don't care what you do, brothers. I know you all work hard, but I will have a scripture I can open. I'm not saying you don't. I always open mine because I will always do that. So you know what job I had? I kept me one. I wasn't like those other ones out there. They want everybody to see them with their. I kept me one in my car. I kept me one that I can steal away from everybody else. And I can read it, just strengthen me with me. Because it creates the joy, and that joy of understanding that it creates that robust energy. I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying. And then he talks about the Ruach of fear, the Yirah of Yah, that's 7 That's what we need to find.
Yes.
The rock of Yirah, that you honor Yah with the deepest, greatest inspiration, that you admire him. There's nothing like a son. He fears his daddy, but he's not in trepidation that his daddy's going to break his leg. He fears him because of the honor, because of the deep regards.
Yes.
And many times they want to downgrade people on my hill, their fathers, and then their boys. Same thing with white folks, Chinese folks, Japanese folks, Hondurans, all of them. Why do you think the people in this country that look like me get the most ridicule? Because we're in such a vast nation that everything is exposed. You go on YouTube, you can see somebody having a baby in this country. You can't do that in Tanzania. You can't go to Chad and everyone got a cell phone. Everybody in this country got one. Has some kind of device. And that's just a fact. Even the poorest of poor. We're poor financially, we're rich in the knowledge of YHWH.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Just that we know how to make it work. I may not can do many things, but that I know how to work a dollar. And I can work a dollar with the best of them. That's a fact. I don't spend $8. I spend a penny on it. I don't want to spend 10% of it, 8 cents. That's a fact. And I put the 92 cents back. Because the day will come. You need that 92 cents plus 10 more. It will make up the total of what you need. Hallelujah. I want you to be encouraged nation. And it says this here. It says this. And shall make him of quick understanding in what? The fear of Yah. That's what we need. The quick understanding in the fear of Yah. We need to learn how to fear Yah. Quick understand the fear of Yah. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes. We don't judge after the sight of our eyes. You see me differently and you judge me differently. That's not how it works. You judge me righteously. If you judge me righteously, you must judge your son righteously, your daughter righteously, your daddy righteously, your mother righteously, your father, you must judge them righteously. You can't have some pretense and have some kind of an exception that's evil. Because if you got an exception for me, you will make an exception for you. If you got an exception for someone else, it's because you have already implanted that exception in your own mind. I know you don't do like them, but you know, we all need help. No, you just your arrogance, your pride. You don't say I'm wrong. You just simply say my wrong is not wrong. It's wrong like her wrong, but it's not of the equal of her wrong. An adulteress is no different than a liar. A liar is no different than a thief. A thief is no different than a murderer. You transgress the commands of Almighty Yah. But we adjudicate lies by emotions. And that's just a fact. We must stop that as a people, as unto Yah. That's just a fact. You might as well love me. It's not hard to do. You love you, you can love anybody. You lie to yourself more than I do. You tell you lies more than I do. You justify you more than I do. So if you can love you, if you truly call yourself loving you, you can love anybody. You can love. That's right. Hallelujah. Neither shall he reprove after the hearing of his ears. Well, I heard that about she, him, they. And you rebuke them because you heard that. You have no evidence of proof. No, that's not how your children. I've been here longer than anyone. I was at day 1. That doesn't negate from him. Even him. For you. But I was at day one. I've never, that's one spirit I hate. You got an accusation against a man, you bring him with you. And see if it's the truth. Okay, come tell me that he did, she did, they did. No, I'm not going to buy that. Go get him. And I found the story changed too many times. You got both of them there. When you got all of them there, it changes too many times. I've never seen it whereby it didn't change. And I've been here since day one, my friend. You damn me in the same category. I've never seen where it did not change. Well, I thought that's not what you said. That was an accusation against that one. And you flat out lied. You flat out lied. Many times when the accuser, that one that accuses one, the one that's been accused, if they are honest with themselves, I've never found that they didn't tell me the truth. Be dishonest. And then I will get a witness of others to hear that. You can come tell me one thing and make me believe it. But would you get a witness of others and let them all hear it? It will prove how whether you lie. And most people don't do that. They're ready to go to her and just tell her. They don't want to bring everybody, get everybody involved. Because that will show that one that thinks I am or she is, that I'm more pristine will show you. And you that are self-righteous and wicked, you say, well, I don't want to get involved. That's a wickedness. If a brother or sister is in trouble, you don't want to get involved. That's wrong. That's sadistic. That's wrong. It is. I want to be involved. I've always been involved. It's just flat out people. And the reason we will do that because we don't want anything about me being exposed. It is the truth. You're not going to tell me that, but I'm glad you told me. You've been around longer than me, so you can tell me. That's just a fact. Yes. You don't give a damn if you don't want to be involved. I've gotten involved with people on the street. In my days, I won't do it now. I've seen them beat each other. Hold up. Stop that. Stop that. How many times I would do that? I'll stop in the middle of the street. What are you hitting him for? Stop that! I'm big and strong. Even when they would look at me like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's how stupid I was. And I would stop that. So I get involved. You see your brother or sister making accusations or saying false things about each other, you get involved. Yeah. That shows you care. Yeah. But I don't want to take your side. No, you take the right side, like the mother did. You take the right side. That's a cowardly spirit. I don't want to get involved. You know, I know what happened, but I ain't getting involved. I'm in prison today because no one will get involved. You'll be surprised. There are women in prison because, and they hold on to nothing else. I know I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Well, I won't get involved because I get involved today. They come to me. That's how we are. That's evil. It's one thing that God has done. He has gotten involved in every aspect of our life. He involves himself. He lets you know when you're wrong, but your God will never do that. Because your God doesn't give a damn about you. It is the God of your own mind, your own heart. That's your God. Yes. I am a God. I am God. I told you I'm the great, most high God. I can see that. Because anytime I allow my injections and my rule in my mind, I am a God. When I make assessment of you and you and you, and seal with my own condemnation, although I have no power to condemn you, I am a God. Yes. You see, well, boy, that boy, he needs to be in jail. You never know the circumstance of that one. And that's the fact of the matter. Mother spanked that hide, You may feel sorry for him, but you don't know what has occurred or what happened. You don't know the transition of the matter. Let's hear the matter. We're meant to judge. We're meant to speak counsel, Musa. It is the judge. It is the correct. That is where the Rachem of God. You don't give a nickels what the rocks are. You won't get involved. I've always been involved. And I do get involved. In fact, you said something dirty. Well, I did. I'm going to close it with this one because I wanted to incorporate this one I read to us in Maccabees when it concerned in Revelation, Hanuk and Hanuk 12 into Revelation 8 and 8. I want to close with this last one here to show you that the witness of Torah is true, all right? Yeah. The seven stars. Revelation 1:16, the last place was Yeshaya, Isaiah 11:1 through 3. But I will read this in Deuteronomy, Revelation 1:16. When this battle, Antiochus represent the corruption of evil and darkness to battle against the very stars of Yah. The seven sons of Elizur, the mother, they represent the seven Rachem of Yah. The integrity, the beauty. And that is more august, the seven Rachem. We can only say that, but they're more august than the sun, the moon, the stars, all collective. See, that's a fact. And they will bring the excellence of Yah out of you and make it shine like a bright noonday, like the sun at noonday. But this is what Yochanan saw in the great battle of his exile on that isle there. He saw this in a vision as Yahushua appeared unto him in Revelation 1:16. He saw the presence of Yahushua. He saw the person, and he said he had in his right, we're in the right hand of Yah, in his right hand, he had seven Shabbat, he had seven Astar, he had seven stars. There's a call in there. He had seven stars. And out of his mouth went a sharp two-edged sword. The judgment. And that's what Hanuk saw, the judgment, burning like fire. And that's what Amos saw. He saw the judgment. And he said his countenance was as the sun shining in his strength. Yeah. And that's why Yah sends and calls the two-edged sword, that nobody gets it by. Not him, not him. Judgment begins with him. And there is no way, as sure as there is a hell, I could sit here and talk like this, being a hypocrite, and doing everything that is evil and unmoral behind a hidden door. That's more than evil. And then I couldn't even talk like this, because I would have to justify my evil ways and justify our evil ways. I couldn't talk like this. I couldn't teach you like this. Somewhere Yah has put something upon this man that he's not real, but Yah's truth is real. Yah's truth is real. And we can rest upon the foundation and the comfort of his truth without doubting, my friends. He will not speak to us with 1 or 2 verses and talk. I speak from a voluminous amount of scripture. Keeps faith. Because you cannot prove anything by one. It is the one that proved the next one, and the next one that proved those and those. And that's just the truth. It is one word. And what Yah says, although there's a volume of words, there's only one word. Yahushua HaMashiach. That is the word of evidence. This is what he eats. This is his witness. I like that. Although I'm not worth a dime, and I use superlatives like that. I'm not worth a nickel, worth a hog's piss. He's the one that resurrected me out of all of my evil. Not that I will not do evil. He's the one that I kept. And he keeps me from all the evil that I would perpetrate perform and do, we will. It's just by his husband, his and his compassion and his kindness that keeps us. Nothing that I can equate with me, because I'm not with it down. I will stink and die like a rotten dog. I will smell like this. And that's just the truth, nation. There's one thing, what is that I wanted to share with us. But on next time, Zachim will be coming on next Shabbat. But the Shabbat after that, I'm going to take us through the logistic. I'm not talking about the gods and the insurmountable gods names. I'm going to deal with every name of every god in this book. And have them whereby they will Yah will say, this is my name, God, and show you where, when they say this is my name, they add that. But why is Yah's name God? God is not a proper noun. I learned that in a segregated school. There were things that they taught us. One thing the teacher taught, you will know when you use a and an. If the next word begins with a vowel, you use an apple. You don't say, I want an apple. They taught me that in my segregated school. Sometimes you, but wherever there's a vowel, I never forgot from the vowel. So I know when to use an. I know when to use there, T-H-E-R, T-H-E-I-R. I know when to. So we learned that in a segregated school. People looking like me. Teachers look like us. And they taught us. And they taught me well. Sit up, boy. You got that posture. So when I went in the military, they said, attention, you sat there for an hour's class, you said like this. No, you're not sitting like that. When something gets you, you better stretch it out and nobody see you. This is right. Cover down 40 inches all around your left. And all with one cadence, those boots hit the ground. You left, right now. You're writing a letter to mama now. Oh, 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 oh. Vietnam is waiting for you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the way they did it. I will not advise any man about you to go in the military. The most sadistic, evil place today is you have to learn to kill. You have to kill people. Our training was that you walk, maneuver. You got that M16 rifle. And all of a sudden there's a talk. You don't have time to just beat in on it. You become an expert, you got to hit them all. You can't miss but a few. And you're in this field with nothing but just these sounds. Human silhouette. And I must say that there had not been men on my side, I would have never made it. I remember this white sergeant, his name was Sergeant Grimes. Coming back from Vietnam and all that. I like Sergeant Grimes. He was a white boy. He looked after me genuinely. There was another sergeant from New Jersey, I can't remember. He was black. I liked that man, I liked him. He was a baller too, he could play basketball. He looked out for me. He did. And when one sergeant named Sergeant William, he was about big as Zappane. He didn't give a nicker's rat dog about nobody. He didn't look out for nobody. He would break you in pieces. He was a big man. Little fella like me, 160 then, 165, you don't want to mess with him. You don't want to crack on him. And he will let you know he's in command. So you need it from both angles. Well, so you got that white boy, he looked after me in a way that I've just been honest. The white boy looked after me. Because I was ignorant, I was stupid, and I was dumb, I was immature. But the process of that matured me in many facets. That was the wrong place for me to be as no son of YISRAYAH'ALE. Should be in the military, period. Don't pay enough. They pay better now than when I brought home 100 at my height, $186 a month. Wow, that's what that people make that in a day. That's right. You can mow grass and make that more than that a day. You don't have to be no rocket scientist. Man that's mowing grass, he's healthy and he's strong and he's exercising his lungs. I'd rather do that. No way I consider an office all day. Not me. I would not want to do that. Artificial stuff like this that breaks down your body. Most of y'all are too young, but a few of us remember what they call Legionnaire disease began in Philadelphia. They had this big gathering. They could not understand why the people were dying. And when they left there, they died. Oh my God. It was because of the air conditioning. And I'm glad even Raphael never liked them. She never liked air conditioners. Never. She couldn't sleep with them on, and she never. And so she, I didn't want to fight her, so she trained me. That's right, little boy. Baby boy. No air conditioning. Turn the fan on. Why would I put her through that? When it didn't agree with her. I'd rather suffer for that. I didn't die, I'm still here. So we must consider all things nations. I said to my friend in the back, many years ago when he came, we were at home, son, purchased an air conditioner for me. He left it right on. Well, I know he left it on his porch. Because this is sure didn't like air conditioning. People just don't like them. Yes. That we don't. Yeah. And that's just a fact of the imagination. Oh, if you get air conditioning, don't be silly. Use the thing. Stop that. That's what I'm saying. Hallelujah. Yeah. May the riches of your blood rest upon you all. Be encouraged, nation. I am. You that have joined us, send a gift and offering. Send your tithes here. You come to visit as we are beginning to open the doors, and you will see what we do and how we're doing it, and a big blessing and the wonderful foods and things like that we eat. Yeah. I was out this morning, I will confess, and he said to me, "You are there working, huh?" I said, "No ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am." I saw the red. He laughed at me back there. I was up early this morning, I walked the garden, that's it. And when I saw those red tomatoes, I saw the cucumbers. I saw some beans. I said, "Oh, okay, this is not working. I'm just getting some of this, all right?" And I'll see you. We're gonna pinky wrestle, okay? So I got all the stuff, and she, as soon as I came in, she said, "So you're out on the SHABBAT working, huh?" I said, "No, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. I ain't working. I just make a nice salad. Come on. Let's try some of these beans and see how they taste." Because I want us to have a nice fellowship on next week. Have some nice, we eat ribs here, beef ribs. Some of those Angus, I like the Angus. You know, white boy that we bought that John, the little small red farm over 20 years ago. He dropped on us the other day. And he said, "You know, preacher, he left the wife up there, they divorced, and he lives right down here." He said, "I raised those Brahma bulls, the Brahma cow. I said, brother, I don't know how that will fit with Angus. He said, man, that's a Cadillac with cows and brother. I said, you got one there on a small one? I got his number. Hallelujah. And I didn't know who he was. He said, this pastor, you remember Pastor Dawid? I said, who are you, sir? And so I got his number. He purchased a turkey farm down from us. And he said, he raised the brother. He said, that's the Cadillac of cows. He said, I'm telling you. And they don't have all that long hair like the other ones. You, man, that would be nice to just put you one of them and cinch all that hair and put him on the grill and just let him cook. Let him cook for a half a day and let that fat drizzle through all of that nice beef. That's the real deal there. You get a slice of that with a hunk of that nice fat. Them folks like pork like that. And you got that nice lean beef with that nice fat on it, that would make you jump up and kiss your grandmama beside you. It will. So we're going to get in touch with him and see if we can get us one of those Brahmas and see what actions that brings. I'm going to try that this whole time. Be encouraged, nation.
Sure.
We're going to be encouraged. Hallelujah. We're going to have just a nice fellowship next Shabbat. Yeah, we eat chicken here too. And some nice plump chicken wings. And I'm going to invite another guest down to come, a family. And we're not having oxtail, we're having beef ribs, the Angus ribs. I tell you, boy, we had nata pudding, all of that kind of nice stuff. Nothing like some nata pudding. We don't see banana here, but some nice nata pudding. Now that the daughter's going to do a nice, excellent, not nice. We got to get that place with a finished son so we can get that. That's a $3,000 stove. We got to get it in there. We keep him in here. He's going to get that done and get all that done. So that the feast time we can cook. People enjoy them and do those kinds of things. And the day there was never one that came to the house. There was not something there for them to eat. Come on and have something. You don't really, they ain't have much. But you got something to eat. I'm hungry too. Can I have some of them beans with that? Can I have a little bit of that ham hock in there? That's how they did. I'm glad I was born at that time. And I'm glad you were born at this time, all right? You all stand fast and hold. May Yahweh keep you all. Send a gift to help and to assist. I know this bless you today. Enrich you. Next time I get up, it will be teaching and will bless you greatly and riches. Let us stand to our feet, nation, in Yahshua's mighty name, and turn toward Yerushalayim. As long as we're in the bondage of this captivity, in all things we do BARAK for your blessings, your riches and Yahshua, and we do to you for this day, for the excellence of it. Bless us all and keep us. We pray for the Zachim, the mothers of Zion, the older mothers, the young ones of all, the sons, the daughters of YISRAYAH'ALE, the Achim. Bless them all, Yah. Your healing power to us upon your nation in a great way, scattered throughout this earth. Bless them all and keep them in Yahshua's mighty name. And give us all rest as we enjoy the remainder of this Shabbat. In Yahshua's mighty name. Hallelujah. 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 I forgot to say to us, don't forget that big storm is coming through. It's a tropical storm. They already gave it a name, Claudette. And so we're going to get quite a bit of rain here from the way things look. Maybe 2 to 3 inches. So bless you all, be encouraged. Number 1 now. She's older than me, so you see what you see.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.